I'm gonna chill in here and be quiet. So you got a little podcast, a little
Yeah,
sports show.
yeah, it's it. Back in Nobel on the Back in Nobel YouTube page. Yeah,
What you go live?
yeah, it's live right now. Just waiting for the some viewers to probably file in. I know I'm looking at this right now. I could just look on my phone. Peace, peace. Those who's filing, we about to get this thing popping. We just setting up right now, so it's going to take a few seconds. We talk to him, man. We live now, so
What's up, people? EBOG WP60, aka EBOG 5919, aka Brother Jamal, aka EJ, Sports Talk Radio 97.5 FM from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. Sports Talk Radio, controversy, information, edutainment. We're going to roll it all up into one. You know what I'm saying? And have a big ball of fun. I believe in edutainment, which means education in a educated sort of type of way. I'm the type of boy that bring the streets to the boardroom and the boardroom to the streets. I walk the fine line between genius, insanity, and the schools. You know what I'm saying? The streets and the schools come right here together because most of the schools are in streety type neighborhoods. But if you bring the streets into the schools, you can't really learn. So when them two things clash, you got a problem. So if you're trying to go to school and the school is located in the streets, it's going to be hard for you to learn without bringing some of the streets to the school. But it's better if you bring the school to the streets. You understand what I'm saying? Because the educated hustler is a better hustler. Because the educated hustler knows that it's more hustling than just hustling, which means stop thinking that the only thing that means hustling is selling drugs. Because guess what? The boy that got drafted in the NFL draft is a hustler because he hustled at practice. He hustled back and forth between school and the streets. He hustled to get an education. He hustled to do those workouts. He hustled to get his scholarship. Hustling is not all about doing things illegal. A hustler is somebody who has a plan in his brain and goes out and hustles to get it done. A hustler must hustle himself. In America, this is a system of pimps and hoes. The highest level you can get in America is to prostitute yourself. Cut out the middleman. We are prostitutes in America because we all are capitalists, and capitalists capitalize off other people's weaknesses. If you are not weak, you cannot be capitalized on. You become the owner of the capitalistic process. Owners brings me back to my point. Sports Talk Radio. Why do they still call people owners? I'm going to tell you why Jerry Jones is an owner. I'm going to tell you why Jeffrey Lurie is an owner. I'm going to tell you why Mark Cuban is an owner. Because guess what? They still play the games on the field. The players, the uniforms, the trademark of your specific favorite NBA, NFL, NHL, or NFL team, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, and dare I say soccer, is owned outright by the owner of the team. When Deshaun Jackson, rest in peace. When I say rest in peace, of course he's still alive, but once you leave the comfort of Philadelphia, you are dead to us. If you don't believe me, I bet you Deshaun Jackson, Allen Iverson, LaShawn McCoy, Jeremy Macklin, and it's not just African Americans, because every goddamn one of the Flyers, from Jeff Carter to Mike Richards, and every goddamn one of the Phillies from back in the day, Pat Burrell and all them, still have their homes in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, tri-state area. So when you get Phillied up, when you get that Philly in you, and people want to talk about, oh, y'all don't win no championships. Well, I was at the 2008 World Series parade on Broad Street. Seemed like a championship to me. The 1980 World Series parade on Broad Street again for the Phillies. And you Washington Deadskin fans and you Washington Trashino fans always talking trap. Nationals don't have no World Series. Nationals don't even come from DC. This is sports talk knowledge, informated with street knowledge, even giving you a little political history. This is what I do better than anybody else. Educate and entertain. Ergo, back to Deshaun Jackson. So you thought I was just rambling. No, I'll bring it right back to the point. Deshaun Jackson was a Philadelphia Eagle who kept his home in Philadelphia. A lot of athletes keep their home in Philadelphia because Philadelphia is unique. Philadelphia is interesting. Philadelphia is historic. And Philadelphia by far has the most fanatical, passionate fans in sports. And if you don't believe me, let's talk about the number one thing going on in sports right now, the NFL draft. And where did they have the NFL draft? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, live, Benjamin Franklin Parkway. The Pope was at Benjamin Franklin Parkway. You know it's pretty big when the Pope comes to your city. Made in America. Every goddamn summer, the world, Jay-Z, High Hood, Lil Wayne, Future, whoever you want, Miley Cyrus, Adele, wailing on, Kenny Rogers and the Gamblers, Bruce Springsteen, whoever you want to mention. Made in America, Benjamin Franklin Parkway, Budweiser Superfest, all held on Benjamin Franklin Parkway. This year, April 2017, NFL Draft. National Football League, most popular money-making league in the whole world. The whole world descends upon Philadelphia. My city, my town, Rocky. F you. Joe Frazier was the real Rocky. His name should be on top of that statue, but I digress. How the hell do we have a statue at the art museum that the whole world symbolizes us as Philadelphia of a fake, fictitious character when we have a real person from Philadelphia who actually went out and rumbled the Apollo Creed character, which was nothing but a ripoff of Muhammad Ali? Let's keep it real. Joe Frazier actually fought the real Muhammad Ali and beat him. And me and my man Philly Phil was riding down Broad Street the other day, and Joe Frazier's gym is now a furniture store. Starfall. Jesus Christ. As my Spanish friends would say, adios meals. How could that happen? And not only is it a furniture store, they didn't even have the decency to take Joe's name down. So over top of the furniture store, you can still see Joe Frazier's name. And that's a damn shame. Now they do have a Joe Frazier statue outside Xfinity Live. I will give that to you finally. But nobody associates that with Philadelphia like they do the Rocky statue.
Hell no.
I mean, my God, tourists from all over the world was running up and down them Rocky steps, all NFL draft. I digress. NFL draft. Philly looked good, man. Philly looked real good, fellas. Philly looked real good. R.I.P. to Smoking Joe. You know what I'm saying? I saw Joe plenty of times in North Philly. I seen him plenty of times in Center City. Always a gentleman, tipped well, always had a kind word for the people, and always viewed Philadelphia as his adopted home city. I always felt kinship to Smoking Joe because he was from Beaumont, South Carolina, and my people was from South Carolina. My grandmother's grandmother was a slave, bro. That's how far I go back. My grandmother couldn't read and write. She had to put a mark on her goddamn Social Security check. So when people talk about the effects of slavery and how we need to get over it, I'm living proof that that type of stuff actually happened. Now, if you weren't allowed to read and go to school, and you weren't allowed to pass that on to your children, and you tell me that in an educated society, we must have reading and writing skills to survive and succeed, and you say that the grandmother couldn't read and write, so the kids couldn't read and write because they had to work all day from sun up to sundown at night, how could you say that slavery has no effect on the development of a people? And how can you say we need to get over it? And my main point is bringing it back to Jerry Jones and the owners. The NFL is a modern day plantation. I say it. The NFL draft and slavery is very similar. I'll say it. People say, oh no, brother, they're well paid. Okay. What's well paid when 60 to 70% of NFL players are broke 3 to 5 years after they leave the NFL? Is Jerry Jones ever going broke? Is anybody with the Jones last name ever going broke ever in this next or 10 generations from now. Forever and ever, brother. Forever and ever.
Well, since you brought that topic up, that's a good transition into this comment that was made by Des Bryant. I want you to elaborate on.
What comment was made by Des Bryant, bro?
I'm gonna read it for you.
Let me get the microphone.
I'm gonna tell you what you think about this.
The cow turd Des Bryant?
Yeah, well,
the X's, Des corded and all that. That Des Bryant?
Right.
Okay, what did he say?
Well, I'm just going to read the article real quick. It's very short. It says, Des Bryant went out.
Sort of like the amount of touchdowns he's caught in the playoffs, sort of short, but go ahead.
A limb to speak his mind on contentious issues, and he's getting a little blowback. And this is in the context. The article is speaking in the context of the, issues concerning race,
Okay.
So he's saying that Des Bryant is speaking about race and is getting a little blowback. So they goes on to say the Dallas Cowboy wide receiver wrote a series of posts Sunday on Instagram expressing his feelings on racism in America. Bryant drew on his own personal experience from a rough upbringing, and spoke about the need for Black Americans, specifically those in the public eye, to lead by example. He says, first and foremost, I would like to say I do a great job minding my own business, but it's pressing on my heart to share my thoughts about white Americans and Black Americans, racism. I saw a personal quote Charles Barkley made when he said, we as Black people were never going to be successful, not because of you white people, but because of other Black people. I hate to admit it, but I understand that quote. This is Des Bryant. He goes on to say, I've been racially profiled on numerous occasions, but not once has it influenced an ill feeling inside of me about anyone outside of that issue. Real slavery is different from what's going on now in our world. We all, every ethnicity, have the opportunity to lead by example instead of making videos about the history of racism that get applauded, or people with influence merely doing things to post for social media. Individual accountability to be better as a whole. He says, I recently ran into a guy I grew up with who spent his adulthood dealing drugs. He shared with me that he wished that he chose a different and better path. He said seeing my success was inspiring and that it encouraged him to do better with his life. He says, real question, sophisticated and Black. Why do we associate those who choose the straight and narrow as not being Black enough? Why was it that I was one of the first examples of success to my friend? We focus hard on finding the realities that exist instead of creating our own reality. The ones who come before us, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, paved a new path for us to follow. The struggles and hurt they endured created new life for us today. It is not our job to carry the burden, but it is our job to lead by example. Now, Shannon Sharp actually replied to those statements, and basically they kind of like him, Stephen A. Smith, kind of like is viewing him as a house nigga for making those type of comments.
I can't.
What is your opinion?
If you listen to the totality of what he said, I find no flaws with what he said. Because at the end of the day, it's only one race, the human race. So when people talk about racism, let's get down to words. A lot of things that people refer to as racism is merely ignorance based off of stereotypical, non-informational thinking, which means, for instance, you merely assume that all Black people can play basketball. Anybody who really can play basketball know that you got some Black bums out here and dribble at the same time. But if you are a type of person who assumes that every Black person can play basketball, has a large penis, has some sort of rhythm, and all our women are sex machines on welfare and thoughts, necessarily racism. That's ignorance and prejudice. Now, if you act on that ignorance or prejudice to deny somebody life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that, my friend, is racism. So, therefore, I agree with Des Bryant. A lot of things that we view as racism aren't racist at all. It's just ignorant, stereotypical, prejudicial behavior. Somebody tells somebody like Des Bryant, who basically admitted that he's been racially profiled on several occasions. Again, he's for one of the most hated franchises in the history of sports. We all know what alcohol does to people. We're going to talk about an incident in a few minutes about a baseball player in Baltimore who went through something in Boston with a bunch of drunk yahoos who bandied about the N-word and threw peanuts and made racial slurs. How much of that do you think Des Bryant has had to go through in his lifetime that we never hear about and never talk about? I could tell you personally, I never made the pros, but I was a very successful high school athlete in the 80s. I played against and with several NFL players, such as Rich Gannon for the Oakland Raiders, was an NFL MVP and a Super Bowl quarterback. Eric Williams, who is a Hall of Famer for the same Dallas Cowboys that Des Bryant plays for. I played against him in high school and several others. And I say that to say that I too have experienced racial profiling athletically, educationally. I mean, my God, you know, one of the first things white people always tell me, oh, you speak so well. That's an insult. That's racist, because you're racist in the point that you feel that somebody who looks and dresses and carries themselves like me in an urban manner, that your first thought was I didn't have a great command of the English, that my vernacular was somehow less than yours. And I know Des Bryant has to go through that, because as I was reading or listening to you read his statement, I was ready to clown him. But it wasn't nothing in that statement that I could clown him for, because I could perfectly understand where he was coming from. Whether or not I agree with him is something totally different. But what I have come to learn, what knowledge has taught me, what humbleness has taught me, what humility has taught me, is that I can agree with somebody or disagree with them without being disagreeable. That I could understand and accept the scientific fact or your emotional feelings about a subject and still not agree with you and be peaceful with you. So somebody else's coon is somebody else's house nigga, is somebody else's revolutionary. Colin Kaepernick is going around giving out bread in Somalia, giving out water in Africa. I seen something on Instagram the other day. Colin Kaepernick was in an alias city. It might have been Cleveland, outside a parole office buying suits for strangers so they can go on job interviews. Colin Kaepernick is a revolutionary. And the fact that Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job in this NFL when you got bum jerk quarterbacks, several of them, I could mention them by name. I mean, Jay Cutler should be backing up to the truck of the clown mask for all the millions of dollars he's stolen in the NFL. And I'm not saying Colin Kaepernick is Fran Tarkenton. I'm not even saying he's Warren Moon. But I'm saying he's good enough to be in this man's NFL. And the only reason he's not is because of his political stance that he takes. Body. Des Bryant speaking up like he's speaking up, he might get some blowback. He definitely going to get some blowback from the Tea Party patriotic, We Are America, See No Evil crowd. The type of people who drop bombs on a country and then complain about the immigrants from that country trying to get in America. Well, maybe if you hadn't have blown up their infrastructure, they wouldn't be trying to get here. And isn't one of our credos, give me your tired, your poor, your hungry masses yearning to be free? Unless you a certain color, unless you a certain religion, unless you a certain economic status, get the hell out of here. America seems to be sending. So back to the sporting part of it. If we acknowledge the fact that the owners own the team and a player is property of that team until he becomes a free agent, free to negotiate his own deal, but all he's going to do is go to another owner who's going to pay him more to play for his plantation. All lights and merchandising rights are consumed by the NFL. And if you don't believe me, ask any of the people who tried to sell water, sandwiches, or t-shirts anywhere within a 1 mile radius of Benjamin Franklin Parkway during the NFL draft. They was ruthlessly raided down on and had their merchandise and money confiscated by the NFL. The NFL took over security for Benjamin Franklin Parkway and hired multitudes of private security. It was almost like a fascist lockdown state, brother. But I wasn't doing anything illegal, so I didn't have a problem with it. But I'm just saying, the city looked good. The people look good. But you got to understand the underlying how can I put it, police state that we're living in right now. Police everywhere, cameras everywhere. And how does that affect sports? I'm going to tell you how that affects sports. Not as happy or as free as they used to be. People are not as willing to spend money on jerseys, on tickets, on television, on gear like they used to be. Because in order to venture outside of the cocoon of your life, you have to feel safe. If you don't feel safe, you ain't going down to the stadium, are you, OG? If you feel somebody like might bring a bomb in the stadium and blow it up like they do over Europe at them soccer games, I mean, good brother, I can see it getting to a point where the athletes and the entertainers and the fans that pay for the music is going to be so separate that we won't even be able to reach out and touch them no more, brother. I think Allen Iverson and his like might be the last generation of the walk up and touch superstars. Because once these proposed welfare cuts come into effect in November, people going to be starving on the street, brother. And you can't have 10, 12, 13, 15, $16 million a year athletes boogalooing and partying in clubs and cities with people who barely struggling to survive and think that them athletes ain't going to become targets. I predict that the next crime wave to come to America is the one that's sweeping South America as we speak. Did y'all ever see Man on Fire with Denzel? Movie? What was that movie about, fellas? Kidnappers. And why was they kidnapping people? Money. So Ben Simmons and the Process and all these dudes gonna be walking around here with jewels, popping bottles in the club. They walking around looking like meals to people that's starving out here, brother. They gonna start getting snatched up, brother. You better get security for your kids. You better go holler at Brother Akbar and the FOI, because I'm telling you, I see it coming. I'm almost like I'm not a prophet per se, but somebody who knows what's going to happen, because I base it on history and I base it on the fact that I get outside the comfort zone of the United States. And if I don't travel physically, I travel in my mind. So when I hear that Mariano Rivera, as the closer in Jay-Z's song, the Mariano or the Marriott, you know what Jay-Z said? Well, those of us who know baseball know that Mariano Rivera was the greatest closer of all time. He's one of the main reasons why the Yankees won some of those 27 World Series, because he would come in at the end and strike out the pitchers. Well, Mariano Rivera is from one of the poorest countries in the world. Me being a baseball fan, I investigate things, and he has around-the-clock security on his kids in Westchester County, which is a suburb of the Bronx where a lot of the rich Yankees live at, sort of like how Cherry Hill is really a rich suburb of Philadelphia, where a lot of the Flyers and the Sixers, Voorhees, places like that. It's like right over the bridge, 15 minutes over to Ben Franklin to Walt Whitman. A lot of, athletes, high price Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, Eagles, they live over there. That's how it is with the gentleman that I'm talking about, Mariano Rivera, Westchester County in the Bronx. And he also has around-the-clock security on his property and his family members in Panama, the Panama Canal. If you know anything about Roberto Duran, Hands of Stone, No Mas, Sugar Ray Leonard, High Hood. Mind you, Sugar Ray Leonard would beat the brakes off Floyd Mayweather. Sugar Ray Leonard was a real motherfucking man who fought real champions like Roberto Duran in Panama. And I'm not getting off the subject because Panama is a vicious drug-addicted country where they had third world dictators like Manuel Noriega, who was propped up by the same United States government that we're talking about here. Point is, Panama is a poor country. They poor, coke, everything. They will kidnap your ass and hold you for ransom to get a couple dollars. Floyd Mayweather, he can never be Sugar Ray Leonard because the competition that Floyd Mayweather is fighting is so inferior to the competition that Sugar Ray Leonard fought. Name one Hall of Famer, a legitimate Hall of Famer, that Mayweather fought at the peak of his career. Sugar Ray was fighting people at their prime. He wasn't catching them 39, 40 years old like Mayweather caught Sugar Shane. He wasn't catching them 4 years after he should have fought Pacquiao. Like Floyd did. I'm not saying Floyd isn't a great boxer. I'm not saying he isn't a master of the sweet science. What I'm saying is he is a master of not getting hit. Rather backpedal, avoid, and jab you than get into a face-to-face confrontation of fisticuffs. And people will say, oh, well, the art is the hit not getting hit. Well, nobody was more of an artist than Sugar Ray Robinson, greatest fighter of all time, and he was in a lot of pitch battles. Muhammad Ali was a great fighter. He could float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He was a proponent of the sweet science, but yet he got in the ring and went toe to toe and went bang bang with some of the biggest punchers in the history of life. Some of you haters will say, well, that's why he caught the disease that he has now. And I will tell you that you are an idiot. Michael J. Fox got Alzheimer's disease. Did he ever get hit in the ring? Think about that. And this is the type of information and edutainment and historical knowledge that I bring every time I step on this radio. Every single time I step on there. Like I said, people will tell you, listen to the sirens. We're in the trap, fam. I come from a time, and every time we used to say the siren, we used to have to say a Hail Mary. So I'm going to say one. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are thee among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Amen. Amun-Ra, Egyptian god of knowledge. Think about that for a second. Your whole life you've been saying amen, thinking you praising Jesus, but you was really praising a black Egyptian.
Right. Amen, because you say that at the end.
How about that?
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Jerry Jones, amen. And back to Des Bryant. See, we're going full circle. Back to Des Bryant.
You mentioned the brother Adam Jones. I want you to elaborate on that after you finish with that Des Bryant.
Oh, you can. Adam Jones, yeah. Adam Jones, center fielder or left fielder for the Baltimore Orioles, was in Fenway Park, Boston. Boston has a long history of racial oppression and racial issues. Make a long story short, busing was a thing in the late 60s and early 70s when the schools had to be desegregated because it was a racist thing in education where white folks went to white schools, black folks went to black schools, which I wouldn't have had a problem with if the black schools weren't so inferiorly funded as opposed to the white schools. So when black kids wanted to move in certain neighborhoods and go to the white schools, it was always problems and protests among the more racist white folk who didn't want their children going to school with black folks. So eventually, whatever president was sitting at this time, because it was going on for a long time, maybe it was Kennedy, then it was Kennedy's brother, then it was Nixon. You know, the presidents would have to send in the federal troops in order to pacify the white population to let the black kids go to school. Y'all saw it in the civil rights. Y'all saw it in the 60s. It was happening up north in the 70s. Look up busing kids to these schools. And Boston wasn't having it. They was throwing rocks. They was burning crosses. Bill Russell, Boston Celtics. We got a lot of black Boston Celtic fans. I know plenty of them that love the Boston Celtics because they won a lot of championships. Well, one of the main reasons they won those championships was Bill Russell. Ask Bill Russell about Boston. They kicked in his door when he moved in. I don't know if it was Roxbury or Dorchester. It was a previously all-white area of a suburb of Boston. And Bill Russell moved in there. And with all the championships that Bill Russell had helped them win, to some people, he was still a nigger. They kicked in his door, wrote "nigger go home," and they defecated in his bed sheets. Look it up. Bill Russell, look it up about racial oppression and racial incidents in Boston. They have a long history of such. And like I said, Adam Jones said that he was called nigger several times. Even the Boston Red Sox organization admit that 30 to 60 people were kicked out of that game for racial taunts. They threw peanuts at him, derogatory remarks, showered him with the N-word. It was so bad that the mayor of Boston and the governor of Massachusetts personally called this man to apologize, took out full-page ads in the Boston Herald to deride this and say that this isn't what we are as Bostonians. I would say that that's exactly what you are as Bostonians. I would say that that's exactly what we are as America. And I would say to you, the most honest time in an American's life is when an opposing player does something to his team, or when he's drunk and his team loses, or when he's drunk and his team wins. That's when you see the real person. That's when you see the real America. And I would propose to you that all the boo-hoo and crying aside, America is more like those who taunted Adam Jones than those who tried to stop it. Why do you think it's only 67 baseball players in all of baseball who classify as African American? Major League Baseball has a 6% African American population. Now, looking back in the history of baseball, some of the greatest players in Major League Baseball have been African American. Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson, love him or like him or hate him, Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Willie Stargell, Dave Parker. We could go on and on and on with all the African Americans. Another Bob Gibson from the St. Louis Cardinals, Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, another dude who helped the Yankees win multiple World Series, the author of some of the greatest home runs and greatest World Series moments in baseball history. And I keep going on and on with great African American players: Joe Morgan, George Foster, Vida Blue, Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds Sr. I can keep going on and on now. Ozzie Smith, Gary Templeton. We keep going on and on. So how is it possible that Major League Baseball only has 6% African American participation?
That's what I was about to ask you though. Like, you know, all the sports, you know, that Black African Americans are involved in, and they kind of use to kind of create a better life for themselves. And we know the history of baseball and how it had to be desegregated. Why did it dwindle? What happened? Like, what happened to baseball where as though you really see like African Americans as what you did a generation or so ago?
I would say it's three-pronged. I would say number one, money. Baseball is expensive. I mean, basketball, all you need is a milk crate. I mean, every playground has a basketball court. If you don't have a basketball court, you could put one up in your backyard. You can't do that with a baseball field. You need a park. You need a clean recreation center. You need a drug-free clean recreation center. You need places, bats, balls, gloves. For that, you need money. You need organization. For organization, you need finance, unity, and trust. I will tell you that starting with the heroin epidemic in the late 60s and 70s, followed by crack in the 80s, all the trust, unity, and hope was taken out of the community. And you need some place to store them bats and gloves. You can't have bats and gloves in a recreation center that the crackheads is always kicking the door open and stealing equipment. So I would tell you that, number one, baseball is too expensive. Number two, I would tell you that in the inner city, there's not enough parks and recreation centers to play baseball. And number three, I will tell you that the baseball parks and recreation centers that are safe enough to play, there aren't enough men around to coach, and there aren't enough children who have enough respect for the game of baseball to be able to play it. Because football and basketball, that's right there. Baseball is a thinking man's game. If from the day you was born, you've been fed defective food, defective nutrients, you've been dumbed down in education, you've been dumbed down in philosophy, you've been dumbed down in thinking, baseball is too slow for you. Thinking mental capacity to understand the nuances of the game. Sort of like why America can't fuck with soccer. Because they call soccer the beautiful game. They call soccer the beautiful game, but they call us the ugly Americans. Do you understand what I'm saying? We aren't smart enough to play soccer. We aren't smart enough to understand baseball. So we don't get it, and we don't like it.
But when you talk about the racism, it goes on in soccer as well. Like, you know, that's one of like the most, you know, from what I hear, like, you know, one of the most racist.
It can't be racist in soccer because soccer is a worldwide sport, and white folks are a worldwide minority. Do you watch soccer? Do you see some of them dudes with the one name, Baldinelli? He speaks Italian, but he's black as him. Every time you watch the Olympics, every time you watch the World Cup, you see all these countries, the Netherlands, Denmark, Greece, predominantly Caucasian countries, but everybody on the team is black. So it's the same racism that you're going to get in America. It's not racism based on anything except the fear of African superiority. They don't like the fact that we dominate certain things. So they get mad and upset, make taunts and teases. But it's no different than what you get here in America. It's just not as well publicized. I'm an Eagles fan, brother. I've been going to the Eagles games for quite a few years. And even worse than that, I'm a hockey fan. I'm probably one of the only black hockey fans in Philadelphia. And if there are black hockey fans, they definitely ain't shelling out a couple $100 to go to the motherfucking Flyers game like me. And you know what they tell me when I go to the Flyers game? You know the Sixers is playing tomorrow. I'm smart enough to realize when I'm being insulted. Somebody else wouldn't have caught that. He told me that the Sixers are playing tomorrow. As if to say, black ass, what you doing here at the Flyers game? But see, wrong day, nigga. But that was funny to me because sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. See, a lot of you dudes is too thin-skinned and in your feelings. And you only seem to get mad when white folks talk trash about you. But you don't get mad when your brother talk trash about you. You don't get mad when your preacher rip you off and blindly molest and abuse you and steal your money and ride off in a Cadillac while your grandmother is catching scepter back and forth to church, crying and moaning because she only got $10 to put in Preacher Paulie's plate. That's when you should get mad. You should get mad when your 17-year-old daughter is telling you she going over your aunt's crib, but your aunt ain't seen her in 2 days because she didn't go over the aunt's crib. She went around the corner to the playground to meet her sugar daddy, who she too scared to have pull on the block, so you don't know that she's out here tricking with older men. That's what you should get mad about. You shouldn't get mad because LeBron James, you bet on the Cleveland Cavaliers and they didn't cover the spread. You shouldn't get mad because the New England Patriots cheated to win a Super Bowl. Shit, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. This is America. Land of the cheater. Land of the liar. They swindled the motherfucking Indians out of Manhattan for $24 and some beads. And you talk about somebody cheating at a Super Bowl, they stole the whole country. And you niggas worry about somebody cheating at the Super Bowl. Come on, man, this is America. How many of y'all cheated on y'all final exams? How many of y'all cheat on y'all fucking taxes? And y'all worry about the New England Patriots? Everybody in here is a tax cheat. How many of y'all have been claimed as somebody's daddy? How many times women come up to you, want to claim one of my kids? Come on, bro. You ain't about that time, but 1,000 other people are. And my point is, it's a lot of hypocrites out here complaining about the New England Patriots cheating, but you cheating on your wife. Tom Brady deflate gate or you thought gate. Think about it, brother. This is the type of things I like to talk about, the hypocrisy of human beings. We pay broke down retired athletes more money than what we pay the people who's supposed to teach our kids. And we wonder why our society is out of control. How many times Michael Irvin has snorted coke and got another chance? Marv Albert biting people in the ass gets another chance. Woody Allen raped and molested his stepdaughter, and they still show him courtside of the Knicks game, and nobody says nothing about it. But y'all want to talk about Bill Cosby though. He ain't get locked up, did he?
No, he didn't get locked up.
Yeah, he ain't get the Bill Cosby treatment.
Weird shit right there.
And while we on that subject, do Bill Cosby get his honor and respect back now that they done dropped the case? Now, when they filed the case, it was all over the news. Now the case got dropped. I don't see no expose on that. I don't see no big NBC, CBS, ABC investigation on how they wronged this man and ruined his reputation with all these false allegations. Do he get his all the money that Temple took from him? I bet you they didn't get that back, but they sure enough took all his statues and all his plaques down from Temple.
It seemed like that's what they wanted to do. It wasn't even about the rape case. It's about them taking away all the
Central sure took all his money and plaques down. You can't even watch the Cosby Show no more on Comedy Central.
He even took it out of history, really.
Yeah,
Such an
but he was innocent. And I will tell you, it's all because he wanted to buy NBC. It's only a certain level of how can I say? It's only a certain level of success you will be allowed to reach as an independent African American.
So
Either you get down or you lay down.
That's why Jordan had to come back and play those.
That's right. He was supposed to be out of here. Yeah.
He had to come back.
He had, yeah.
He had to
make his bones.
He had to raise the revenue of Washington D.C.
Yeah.
It was a dying franchise.
Yeah.
And he brought that shit back.
Yeah. That's real talk. That's real talk. Now, what you want to know, good brother?
Yeah, I was saying that concerning Bill Cosby, like
Well, listen. fuck that. I can tell you this personally. I was at a pen relay maybe 10 years ago before this scandal started, and Bill Cosby had made a statement basically that black people is our own worst enemy. We need to pull our pants up, stop listening to jigaboo music. I'm paraphrasing here, but basically what he was saying was Shaniqua and Raekwon can't read and write. They getting pregnant at an early age, getting high, don't have no respect for the English language. They trashing their cities and trashing their people. And damn near everybody that I know turned their back on Bill Cosby and called him the same sellout coon that you just said Stephen A. Smith and the other Charles Barkley said about Dez Bryant. Shannon Sharp said about Dez Bryant.
He's not a sellout.
He's not. I said, this is a man who grew up in the Richard Allen projects. This is a man who had an afro in the 60s. This is a man who made Fat Albert. This is a man who made Uptown Saturday Night. Smalls got his whole character from the movies that Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier made. Come on, brother, let's do it again. You gonna tell me that man was a coon? Bootney Farnsworth, Kansas City Mac, Silky Slim, Seymour. Come on, brother. That man ain't no sellout coon. He was talking from the heart. This was America's father. He wasn't just Black America's father. When he was on the Cosby Show with them Bill Cosby sweaters and the pudding pop, he was America's father, bro. In 80s America, with Ronald Reagan as the president, he was America's father. Bill Cosby was the most popular man in America as a nigger from the Richard Allen projects. He transformed. We got to honor those who transform. People want to tell me Ice Cube is a sellout. You idiot. Ice Cube is one of the greatest African-American stories ever. He went from the nigga you love to hate to Are We There Yet? Think about that. He went from selling St. Ives to Coors Light. Think about that translation, bro. He went to carrying AK-47s to daddy daycare movies. Ice Cube is almost as American as apple pie. The barbershop movie is a franchise. This man brought the culture of the barbershop to Hollywood and made it worldwide. Clubs. We don't have golf clubs. We don't have country clubs. We don't have African-American federation associations for all our kids to go to and get free scholarships like the Jews do. We don't have that. All we got is the barbershop. And this man brought that to Hollywood and made it successful. And y'all motherfuckers is hating on him. NWA and Public Enemy are the two most important groups in hip-hop history. Police is the greatest song ever, and it's just as true today as it was when Ice Cube and them made it. These people should be supported. These people should be put on a pedestal. They shouldn't be degraded and knocked down and chastised and talked about. In your whole life to make a comment about Bill Cosby. Who have you educated? Who have you made better? The Fat Albert Show taught me more about life in one of those little Junkyard Dog songs that they would have at the end of the show where they would have a message and a lesson and they would sing the song. Nah, 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 gonna have a good time. Hey, hey, hey. And each song would be about that specific lesson that you learned through the episode. And that's what I'm about. Educating, entertaining, and learning. So, you know, Bill Cosby, Ice Cube, salute to you. Dez Bryant, man, I didn't know he had that in him. I didn't know he had that kind of foresight or intellectualism. Whether you agree with the point or not, you have to say that you didn't think that he would be able to elucidate, look the word up. He elucidated very well. He pontificated, and he explained his position. I mean, I can see why somebody could call him a coon and a sellout. I wouldn't agree with that because my definition of coon and sellout is totally different than somebody else's. Just because you don't blame white people for everything wrong in a black man's life doesn't make you a sellout. just because you are able to agree with what one particular white man says about a particular situation, don't make you a sellout.
All right, so we could kind of transition over to the Gilbert Arenas thing. I want you to elaborate on. And
you mean Guns Arenas?
Yeah.
Gilbert Guns Arenas. Bang, bang, pow, pow. Anybody could get it. Gang, gang arenas.
Yeah, he was a good shooter from 3-point range. You know what I'm saying?
He was a better shooter in the locker room. If he shot guns like he shot foul shots, he might still be in the NBA. I'll be here all week.
Wow. But here go the article. It says, take it to social media.
Kenyans?
Yeah.
Africa, Kenya?
Yeah.
Kenyatta. Go ahead.
They have taken to social media to express their anger at the recent verbal attack on award-winning actress Lupita.
Who's Lupita?
Ingo.
Who's Lupita Ingo? I've seen her before, but I couldn't tell you. Yeah. Well, what's the problem?
Okay, I'm about to read it to you. In an Instagram rant about dark-skinned women, Arenas appears to suggest that Black women are not beautiful, adding that Ingo, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, Lupita, a Kenyan Hollywood actress, is only cute when the lights are off, according to BT. In an exchange, Arenas commented on an Instagram post that encouraged Black women to appreciate their dark skin tone. He wrote, "Your African features are all you need for attractiveness. Never tell yourself or let anyone tell you that in order to be attractive." This is according to, like, this is what's being said on a particular, pro-Black woman post. Somebody, whoever, posting it, whoever controls that particular Instagram page, that's what they post. Now, Gilbert Arenas will respond by saying, "How Black are we talking? Not to be funny, can you name a beautiful Black woman on the outside, not brown skin, like top 50 most beautiful women of all time? The darkest women they have is Keisha Knight. That's Rudy from the Cosby Show. It kind of is a good transition, right?" Keisha Knight.
The unconscious transition, yes.
Gabrielle Union.
She's not even dark skinned.
Tyrell Hicks.
Yes.
He says, when you say African features, Black, then you have one, Lupita Ingo, if I'm mispronouncing it, sorry. And she's cute when the lights are off. Second is Ajamo. I'm sorry, it's another African name. Ajama.
Well, it's just the point. The point he tried trying to make is dark skinned sisters ain't good looking.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish what he's saying. He said, "Sorry, but ooh." So the beautiful Black woman you tried to boost up is technically light skin or brown skin. So basically, he's saying there is no cute Black woman or Black woman that we put on pedestal without, some European features. I guess he's saying,
Well, I mean, how can I put this without offending people? I don't agree with that, but we do it amongst our own people. If you light, you all right. If you brown, stick around. If you Black, get back. I mean, everybody has a bunch of dudes in their neighborhood named Black just because they Black. Let's be real. What up, Black Kev, Black Mike? And then when you light skin, white boy Tone or Puerto Rican Fred. I'm just saying, we caught up in that ourselves. And yes, probably the white man instituted in us. But how many times do you see people bring babies home from the like, oh, he got good hair? Why? Because it's curly. You know what I'm saying? Look at any hair is good hair. I'm bald headed. Any hair is good hair. So I don't think it's so much Gilbert Arenas. He's just stating what a lot of brothers feel. I mean, I hear it all the time. I don't fuck with Black women. And Black women is saying the same thing about men. My opinion is the master and the brainwashing is working. People spend billions of dollars all over the world on lightening their skin. Look at it. I mean, Google it. I mean, the Asians make billions of dollars off straightening kinky hair and lightening dark skin. Whose fault is that? Okay, Willie Lynch. Okay, psychological slavery. Okay, we've been dropping knowledge DVDs for years. We've had W.E.B. Du Bois. We've had Marcus Garvey. We've had Bob Marley. We've had Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, a Tupac. And I know you're going to laugh. Oh, why are you putting Tupac on that level? Because the kids listen to him. And he's dropped some jewels about people that you can go and investigate and check it out yourself. Sheik Anna Diop, John Heinrich Clark, J.A. Rogers. I mean, I could go on and on. Even Seti and Umar Johnson. So for you to be a brainwashed slave, still thinking that your dark skin is somehow a mark of inferiority, that's not the white man's fault. That's your fault. Don't matter what Gilbert Arenas said. What do you think? What do you think? You know what I'm saying? It is. I guess what I'm trying to say is we worry too much about what other people say, and then we don't worry about what we say, what we know, what we feel. We got to stop worrying about what's going on outside of us and start talking about what's going on inside of us. First it go in, then it come out. We worry about the outside in. You got to worry about the inside out. It's in the front of your teeth, but under the gums, under the tooth line, your shit rotten. You know? We promote a lot of illusions and bullshit, but underneath that, we rotten, bro. So first of all, Gilbert Arenas, you need to clean up your own house and try to get back in the NBA. Number two, a lot of NBA players are, how should we say, blinded by the light. It almost seems like once you get the money, once you get the fame, you go for the white woman. Or the woman that's the most socially acceptable for your status. So the brainwashing comes in. You don't think that a sister is worthy of your status. Is it because we don't think that? Is it because the media forces images on us that don't show dark-skinned sisters as beautiful? Or do we already believe in our own mind that the dark-skinned sister is less beautiful? But we constantly say things like the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, and black don't crack. But then we go out and act totally opposite of that. So I don't know, brother. I don't know. I mean, some things is 100% right. Other things is 50% right. And other shit ain't right at all. So, you know, I'm in the line of work giving my opinion. My opinion is based on experience and research. If you don't have my experience and you don't do the research, you may not share my opinion. That don't make me right or you wrong. That just make me more knowledgeable about some information that you don't know about. If I tell you that you shouldn't use fluoride in your toothpaste, and I tell you that fluoride is a rat poison, and fluoride was also used in the gas chambers by Adolf Hitler, and you still continue to use toothpaste with fluoride or drink tap water with fluoride, is that somehow an insult to you, an insult to me? No, you just choose to ignore information that I gave you. And I plainly tell you that you can look this up. And you know what people say? Oh, they lie in books. Just because it's in a book don't mean it's true. Okay, well, you believe the Bible. More truth in the fact that fluoride was used in the gas chambers than it was some talking snake being responsible for the sins of the world. But you believe that bullshit. What I'm talking about is documented fact you can see right now. You don't have to go through no mystery circumcision and no Holy Spirit to get it. So, you know, and I'm not taking a shot at religion, but religion in itself is a bunch of bullshit. It's mind control. It makes you worry about something that's going to happen after you're gone instead of worrying about what's going to happen while you live it. Why should I be nice just because I'm going to burn in hell? Why should I not be nice because it's the right thing to do? Why do they have to come up with the concept of hell? Because people don't be good by nature. People only respond to goodness on fear. Kids, they aren't nice because they're nice. They're nice because they don't want to get punished. They're nice because they don't want you to take the cell phone away or the computer time away. Because they want to be nice. The first two words humans learn besides mommy and daddy is no and mine. Think about it. No, mine. Mommy, daddy, give me. Think about it. We're very selfish people. And anybody who comes around talking some shit that's going to upset our selfishness, we don't like them. But you don't have no choice but to like me. because I don't give a fuck whether you like me or not. You don't like yourself, so it doesn't matter if you don't like me. Because if you liked yourself, what I said wouldn't bother you so much because you would be able to see the knowledge and common sense in the things that I say. And so,
I definitely agree with that too, man.
well, you know, it's not really a statement, it's a fact. Why should you worry more about what other people think about you than what you think about you? We talking about sports, okay? How could you be a top flight athlete and worry about what people think when you standing on the free throw line and 20,000 people is booing you? If you thought about what they saying, you couldn't make the shot. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn to block the noise out, bro. You got to learn to block out the distraction and focus on the goal. Focus on what it is you got up for. If you only get up to smoke weed, chase pussy, and get a couple dollars, and I'm gonna tell you that that's, excuse me for hitting the joint, I'm gonna tell you that that's a shallow life. Because it's not enough weed in the world to make you happy when your man die. In the world to make you happy when you come home and find your girl mouth on another nigga dick, or worse than that, in another woman coochie. Nothing is gonna make you feel better about that. The only thing that can make you feel better about that is a knowledge and wisdom within yourself to know that that woman was never yours to control, and she can give her body and her love to whoever she so well please. But because we look at women as possessions and extensions of ourselves, we feel some kind of way insulted or some kind of way less than a man when some other man want to holler at our chick, or when some other chick want to holler at our chick. I look at that as a compliment, because why would I want a woman that don't nobody else want? And why would a woman want a man that don't nobody else want? Backwards, bro. We got kids that at the end of the game, they go to the book to see how many points they scored instead of looking at the scoreboard to see if their team won or not. That.
Lenny Moore, she in the chat room, she said, can you speak on Adrian Broner, talent and skills?
Adrian Broner needs to get in the gym. Adrian Broner needs to stop trying to be a rapper. Adrian Broner needs to focus on what it is he want to do. Boxing is a sport where you can't be half and half. You can't be in the street chasing hoes, partying, popping bottles with 50 and the latest rappers, and then think you're going to turn that off and jump in the gym and stop eating certain foods for 5 and 6 months and get up at 5:30 in the morning. Them things don't go together. Adrian Broner needs a lot more maturity and a lot more dedication. And I don't think he's humbled enough and professional enough and mature enough to be a superstar boxer. A lot of sizzle and very little steak.
With that being said, you know what I'm saying? Tell me what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be every week.
Oh, we already went through 2 hours there? Oh, no.
No. I thought you wanted to transition on.
Oh, yeah, we could transition, but you know, I never actually, I'm sorry, people. This is my first, I'm back on it.
No, matter of fact, just keep it going.
Oh, yeah, well, what I wanted to talk about, we never got a chance to talk about. EAGLES, Fly Eagles Fly, the draft. The draft was a wonderful thing, man. I was down there all 3 days in my Eagle finery. You know, you could follow me at EBOG 591 EBOGWP 5919 on Instagram, and you can see all the videos and all the pictures that I posted down there in the draft with all the fans from all over the world, all the lovely ladies from all over the world, all the diehard Eagle fans. Eagles took over that place. When the Eagles picked at 14, man, and they panned the Parkway, it was so amazing, man, to see all that green. It was just a great feeling ever, because in my experience, the only time you can have a unified city with no racism, no petty divisions, and everybody on one accord is when the sports team does well. When the Flyers won the Stanley Cup in the 70s, when the Phillies won in 80, when the Sixers won in 83, when the Phillies won in 2008, and even when AI and them, they didn't win the championship, but when they got to play the Lakers, that was the most fun I think I've ever had in my life in Philadelphia, because at that time, that was my second year of Sixers season tickets. A shout out to my brother Ray's, and it was just a wonderful thing. But the city usually finds a way to come together in unity when the sports team does well. And that's one of the best things I liked about the draft, was people was together in unity, and it was like the city embraced the world. Because like I said, it was people there from all over the world. I talked to Seattle Seahawks fans from Japan. I talked to Green Bay Packer fans from Germany. I talked to Oakland Raider fans from Mexico. I talked to Dallas Cowboy fans from Kentucky. Now, you'll say Kentucky is in the United States, but trust me, these backwards hillbilly good old boys was definitely from the third world. Not sure, no, man, on that big head, I brought them Cowboys. Nah, yeah. That's how they was talking, bro. But, you know, it was a great time, man. Philly was well represented, and the city looked very good. 250,000 people was down there from all over the world, man. And the Eagles take Derek Barnett, 6'3", 260-pound defensive end from University of Tennessee, and statistics show that he broke all of Reggie White's sack records at the University of Tennessee. Now, I would never compare anybody to the legendary Hall of Famer, Minister of Defense Reggie White, rest in peace, probably one of the top 3 greatest NFL defensive players of all time. I would say Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, and Ronnie Lott, not necessarily in that order, but those would be my 3 greatest NFL defensive players of all time. Derek Barnett played in the SEC, which many people know is probably the most dominant college football division in football. A lot of people call it the NFL farm system because so many players from SEC schools like Alabama and Tennessee and Louisiana Tech, LSU, Georgia, they have a lot of Auburn. They have a lot of high-profile football teams whose players get picked, rather high in the draft, which means that every weekend he's going up against future pros. So, and his performance is a little bit better than your man from Prairie Dog U. Might be a little bit better from your man from Big Time State, because he's really going up against future pros every week. And for him to do that and to break Reggie White's sack record, that says a lot about him. I know a lot of NFL fans and I know a lot of Eagle fans thought we needed to go get a wide receiver in the first round. They thought we might have needed to go get a cornerback in the first round. But my thing was that this is the deepest draft, they say. Once again, the experts, the so-called experts, and I mean they can be wrong, but they say that this is the deepest draft for wide receiver and cornerback in quite a few years. And they went ahead and got cornerbacks and wide receivers in the later rounds. Now, there's a rumor that the Eagles really wanted to get Dalvin Cook from Florida State. And I know a lot of my Eagle fans wanted Dalvin Cook. He's a big back. He's about 6'2", 225 with 4.5, 4.4 speed. He's an every down back. Like some of these backs that they have in the NFL now are specified backs, which means they're only good at running, or they're only good at pass catching, or they're only good at blocking. It's very few people in the NFL that play the running back position in today's NFL that could run the ball very well, that could catch the ball very well, and they can block. Now, they can't have you in there if they can't block. The only person that they really have right now who is only good at one thing and is a superstar is Ezekiel Elliott. And that's because the Dallas Cowboys have such a great offensive line. They don't necessarily need him in there to block. But for the most part, if you can't catch the ball and you can't block and they put you back there, that's a dead giveaway to the other team that they're running the football because they can't trust you on the blitz to pick up the safety or the blitzing linebacker. That's the running back's job on certain plays. He has to pick up that free guy. If he doesn't do it, he's going to get your quarterback killed. So you can't afford to have a running back who can't block in today's. That's just a little football knowledge for you.
What are you doing for running back?
What they're going to do, they got this guy, Daniel Pumphrey, in the 5th round from San Diego State. And I think they got him as a modern-day Darren Sproles because he's a small guy. He's about 5'6", 175. But in all the years that they've been playing NCAA college football, and I would have to assume they've been doing it since the 1800s, so that's over 100 years, he is the all-time leader in total yards from scrimmage. So that means rushing the football, catching the football, punt returns, kickoff returns. He has more yards than anybody who has ever played college football. Now, I'd like to think that that's worth something. There's been a lot of great college football players, I mean, Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, Marcus Allen. I mean, come on, there's been a lot of great running backs, you know. I could keep going on and on. We're just going to leave those three because I think that's a pretty favorable college list. Go back and play Bill Walsh college football in 1993, or just go back to Herschel Walker at Georgia, or Bo Jackson at Auburn, or Marcus Allen at the United States. I mean, USC. Oh my God, O.J. Simpson, you know, at USC. It was some really, really great running backs. Billy Sims at Oklahoma. You know, my God. Pitt, I mean, at Penn State. Tony Dorsett at Pitt. I mean, there's been great. Earl Campbell at Texas. There's been great running backs in the NFL.
Well, since you talk about running backs, let's talk about Adrian Peterson. Like, you know, what happened, you know, from
Adrian Peterson is a walking, talking, breathing, living, athletic, and medical miracle. How he ripped his knee up like that and came back at the end of the year and was able to play.
What you think about him? Like, you know, how the Vikings, you know, traded him. I guess
he's property. He's property. He's a slave. They do with him as they please. It's no loyalty. It's no love.
So you think they had anything to do with, you know, the abuse, you know?
No, if that was the case, they would have never came back. That had to do with the fact that, yes, he wants more money than what they feel like he's worth. Position has been devalued in the NFL. The Cowboys is the only team right now that have a number one draft pick at running back that's doing well like that. I mean, most teams don't have a number one running back that was drafted in the first round because you don't need to do so. I mean, some of the best running backs and best wide receivers and best cornerbacks in the history of the NFL have been late round draft picks, especially cornerback. Richard Sherman was a 5th round draft pick, bro. Most of the superstars in the NFL that play cornerback, well, they was looking in to trade them because he counts $12 million against their cap. You know what I'm saying? He counts $12 million against their cap. But at the end of the day, stop the pass is a lot more important than being able to catch the pass. It's definitely a lot more important to be able to stop the pass than it is to run the football. So most teams are now allocating their resources at certain positions. Quarterback, left tackle, defensive end, corner. Those are the most important positions on the field in that order. Quarterback, number one. Left tackle, because if you can't protect your quarterback, blindside, doesn't matter who your quarterback is. So my top 3 positions. Quarterback, left tackle. Ergo, if the left tackle and the quarterback is the most important on offense, then the person that's responsible to get the quarterback would be the most important on defense. That would be your defensive pass rush end or outside linebacker. Number 4 is the cornerback. Football passing league. So you can grab 6'3", 225-pound dudes that run 4.5 or less 40s off the corner. Very hard to get somebody 6 foot tall or taller that weighs more than 200 pounds that can swivel their hips and run with them dudes down the field and jump up in the air. That's why cornerbacks get paid more than wide receivers, because it's easier to be a wide receiver than it is to be a cornerback. The wide receiver know where he's going. The cornerback don't. And the next important position is wide receiver, because in a pass-happy league, you have to have a dominant wide receiver. So those are the 5 positions that people allocate their funds to. Running back is not one of those positions. Position will never, ever again be dominant in the NFL. Dallas is the exception to the rule, my brother. And I would like to tell you, and this is not because I hate the Cowboys. I do. This is not because I like taking shots at the Cowboys, because I do. But this is outside of that. Statistics show you that there have been very few running backs in the NFL who have ran the ball as many times as Ezekiel Elliott ran it this year and came back the next year and did anything but worse. It takes your body time to heal. Running back is the most physically demanding position in the NFL because you get hit on every play. Even if you don't have the ball, you got to block. Even if you don't have the ball, you got to run out in the pass catching route. And they hit you on every play. So a running back's average career only lasts 3 to 4 years. He just got 1 year. They ran him into the ground. It would be interesting to see if Ezekiel Elliott repeats that performance this year. My point is that's why you don't draft running backs that high, because they get ground into the ground real early and you don't get your money's worth. I mean,
I know that it changed over time. You know,
running back used to be the man. Everybody had a superstar running back.
You know, that was the thing to have. Like, you know, even going into LaDainian Tomlinson and, you know, Adrian Peterson. I mean, really, that's kind of like the last.
Here you go. Here you go right here. Give me the starting running back for the New England Patriots.
I can't even tell you that.
That's my point. That's my point. New England's won 5 Super Bowls. You couldn't tell me one running back. And if they was good, they didn't get good with New England. They was good. There's somebody else, and they brought them in, like Corey Dillon. He was killing it for the Bengals. They brought him in. LeGarrette Blount was killing it for the Steelers. They brought him in. New England don't believe in that, bro. You know, they got a system. And, you know, they got a picture of Bill Belichick sitting back sipping an orange juice. And the caption is, everybody else is getting excited about their first-round draft picks while, you know, you just going to go out and grab some random checkout board from Walmart and turn them into the Super Bowl MVP. System, man. When you got a great system, that you have great players. You need great players when you don't have a great system. Now, talent will always overwhelm a system. But sometimes talent isn't able to be controlled and molded and put in a situation where the talent can be successful. For instance, me and you just met. You heard me talk one time, and you knew that this was a situation where I could be successful. This is what I'm talking about. You can't put somebody that can't talk in this situation, no matter how much you like them. You couldn't put somebody who didn't have such an academic command of words and a precise knowledge of sports without ever. Now, I came in here with a paper. Did I look at it once? I came in here with notes. Did I look at it once? Don't need them. People who have my skill set and my talent. So you can't put this on everybody because everybody can't do that. And that's what I'm saying about sports. A lot of times people put folk in position that they skill set can't handle. And just because you making $1 million don't mean you $1 million player.
Well, since it's the NBA playoffs, let's, you know, talk a little bit about.
It's a lot of $1 million players in the NBA that ain't worth their goddamn contract. And you're going to see that come playoff time. LA Clippers. Every year, it's a bunch of hype about the LA Clippers. But guess what? For about the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th year in a row, ever since they had Chris Paul, ever since they had Blake Griffin, ever since they had Glenn Rivers and before, guess what happened? The LA Clippers got sent home. They gone fishing by the goddamn Utah Jazz. I couldn't name one player on the Utah Jazz, bro. I couldn't name one player on the Utah Jazz, and you couldn't either. And if you polled 90% of the NBA without Google or Snapchat or pressing their smartphone, they couldn't give you one player on the Utah Jazz either. But everybody know Chris Paul. Everybody know Paul Pierce. Everybody know Blake Griffin. Everybody know Glenn Rivers' son. But they home. Point is, it ain't about what you know. It ain't about how much money you make. It ain't about how many people drive your the car that you advertise or the liquor that you advertise or your sneaker. It's about how you perform in the clutch in the playoffs. And DeAndre Jordan and Chris Paul got a whole lot of State Farm commercials, don't they? But they ain't got a whole lot of NBA rings now, do they? They ain't even got no playoff wins. So it's about your performance. And the playoffs don't matter. It's going to be Golden State and Cleveland. It's already been preordained and routine. It's just like when you see The Rock and Stone Cold getting ready for WrestleMania. You know wrestling is fixed. You know that's going to be the main event. If it ain't fixed, it's predetermined. Everybody knew since the year started. What's the sense of even playing the season? It's going to be Cleveland and Golden State in the finals. From the minute they threw that ball up, from the minute Kevin Durant went to Golden State, you knew that it was going to be Golden State and Cleveland. There is nobody in the East that has any shot of beating Cleveland as long as LeBron James is healthy. It's not one team that got a shot of beating Cleveland. Not one. There's not one team in the West that got a shot of beating Golden State, especially now that Tony Parker is out. Come on, bro. It's no way that anything besides death, nuclear destruction, or terrorist attack that's going to stop the Golden State Warriors from playing the Cleveland Cavaliers come June. The commercials are already made. The travel plans is already set. The after parties is already being promoted. Come on, bro. Golden State and Cleveland. It ain't even no sense in talking about the NBA playoffs because it's preordained.
So what you think about the Durant move, bro?
If you can't beat them, join them.
I mean, what you think is some fuck shit? I mean, come on, like
there is no fuck shit. Did he earn the right to go where he wanted to go?
The motherfucker.
He could go from plantation to plantation.
What you think? Like from
he earned the right to go where he wanted to go.
I'm gonna lay it out though, right? You in the playoffs. You have 3 games to 1 on these motherfuckers. They come back and beat you, and then you go to their fucking team.
You want it?
No.
I don't do it. No. I stay with my team. Get another player, and we whoop their ass.
Like
that's what I do.
From what I played football.
That's what I do.
But it's like, yo, why would I want to go to a team that I almost beat?
Situation with LeBron, why he went to Miami,
right?
Because the cap was so high at that time. They can't bring nobody big time in. They brought in Shaq, and he took a very significant pay cut.
And Shaq was crap when he got to Cleveland. Shaq was on his last leg. Shaq stole that money. I said it. Shaq stole that money.
You kind of can understand why LeBron did what he did, but Kevin Durant, you got Russell Westbrook, the best, most dynamic player there is.
Some people
on your side.
Some people would tell you that's why he left, because they couldn't stand each other.
Yeah.
Some people would tell you that. I can't say for sure. I'm not in the man's heads.
There may be something there.
Leave though.
Yeah, you can see the personality.
Why would you leave? Because I'm gonna say this: if Kevin Durant had the personality that Westbrook had, they would have never lost. Durant is like LeBron.
Exactly.
And that's not an insult to LeBron. LeBron is a facilitator more than he is a finisher. The reason they're going to win is because of Kyrie, not because of LeBron.
Yeah. I said that.
You know what I'm saying?
Brother. Yeah, I said that.
LeBron is a great player. Yeah. He doesn't have the Kobe.
Right.
He don't got that killer finishing instinct. He don't.
I said if it wasn't for that,
he don't.
Look, we think about it though. Hold on a second.
Yo, he really.
So if he don't like using it, how do we have it?
But look, think about that.
In that last game.
Hold on a second.
He dropped.
Hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
If it wasn't for like the Ray Allen shot,
think about it. Right? They wouldn't have won that.
The Ray Allen shot, right?
Yep.
The Kyrie Irving comeback.
Yep. They got one chip. He got one chip, bro.
We had that one chip. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I don't think he got the killer instinct like those other players.
There is nobody in the history of basketball that would tell you Kobe wouldn't have took that shot. Mike would have took that shot, and then people say, "Oh, well, Steve Kerr took a shot." Yeah, because he was triple teamed. Team when he be giving the ball up in a clutch situation.
I mean, that's just
He's a facilitator. He's a great facilitator. He's probably the best basketball player on the planet, but he's not a finisher.
Oh, no, he's not. What you think about that, though?
If Allen Iverson had the skill, if Allen Iverson was as big as LeBron James, he'd have reset every record in the NBA. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. LeBron don't have that, bro. How can you not understand what I'm saying? And I'm not a LeBron hater. I defend him all the time from people who hate him. My argument is basketball related. Their argument be they don't like him as a person. Oh, he flops, he bitches. Every superstar flopped. You couldn't breathe on Mike either. You couldn't breathe on Magic. You couldn't breathe on Bird. Every superstar get the calls, bro. So that ain't it. You just hate that man. And what did he ever do? He don't have he do got a bunch of tattoos, but I guess my point would be he ain't never beat no women. He ain't never sold no drugs. He ain't no thug. He married his childhood sweetheart. He take care of his fucking kids. It ain't never no scandals. It's never no TMZ reports. What do y'all want from him? He took care of his city. He took care of his boys. He took care of his family from this nigga. He make the commercials. He donate the money. He have the camps. No rap records. He ain't trying to make no movies. I mean, what do y'all want for this nigga? Well, you know what I mean.
Yo, he did a damn good job too, you know.
I mean, he don't be in Drake be all in his videos, but he don't be in Drake videos.
10 times if they play. He said George said he'll beat them 10 times if they play 10 times.
He would, because LeBron don't have Jordan's. LeBron don't have Jordan's killer instinct. He don't.
He got better defense.
Stop.
Yes.
Stop. Jordan was a shutdown defender.
LeBron is too.
LeBron is a beast on the defensive end, though.
He's other than Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi is the anti-LeBron,
Yo,
the LeBron
yeah.
stopper.
Yeah, he is.
Kawhi got LeBron shook, bro. But I while we on the subject, I ain't a big Steph Curry fan. I think he a one-dimensional player.
He is just offense.
Yep. And one move.
That crossover.
When you buy, listen. I knew it was real when Dellavedova had him shut down. Listen, bro, all you got to do is body Steph, and he out of there. Good team. You put a body on them, they gonna have problems. And I'm gonna say this: laugh if you want, get mad if you want, but all basketball purists will agree with me when I say this: Steph Curry is not the key to their team. Draymond Green is.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Charles Barkley say that shit every fucking night. Try to drain it down the motherfucking head. Yeah, I agree. He's the source of that team because Kevin Durant is, soft as all cotton tissue. And then you said Steph Curry, you put a nice body on him, rough him up a little bit. That's what they did in the finals. You know what I'm saying? But
they gonna be hard to beat, bro.
What's up with the Steph Curry hate though? There's a lot of people saying that, the NBA players hating on Steph Curry.
Because he light skin. That's all. Team light skin.
Yeah, Michael Eric Dyson was saying that.
He Christian.
Michael Eric Dyson wrote in his book that it was like some type
of
Jesus.
He's a Jesus dude. There's a lot of things why people don't like him. Or he don't have no rap song. He don't have no swag. His sneakers is corny.
He came out with affordable sneakers.
Yeah, they corny.
That's why he chose that.
You know what I'm saying?
But this is the NBA players though. This is what they say. Like LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul.
And they saying that they kind of like
plus he come from a fucked up like a small school, Davidson. He ain't go to no big giant North Carolina joint. So it's a lot of stuff against him.
Michael Eric Dyson did agree with you though, because when he wrote in the book, he said it was like because he light skin thing. But I think Chris Paul was kind of alluding to like how
and the NBA may favor him somewhat because of his
right. That's what Chris
he
Paul
a little bit more. He a little bit more marketable,
right,
to the mainstream.
Yeah, Chris Paul was kind of alluding to that. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of alluding to like they don't really press him like they press other people. You know what I'm saying? So definitely that's something. What you think about that?
We as a people, we still suffer from color prejudice. I mean, I hear certain comments said about Steph Curry. He was a little bit darker. Now, I know people think that that's petty, but it's not. It's real in the hood. I mean, if Steph Curry wasn't a basketball player, I'm going to tell you what his name would be, Pretty Ricky. You know what I mean? That's when you look that way, people already had these assumptions. The same way that when you dark skinned like my man, people be scared of you for no reason. World. Because he dark skinned and got a scar over his eye, motherfuckers lose their mind when he comes. I get it too. I got a scar over my eye. I'm a darker skin. I got a big beard, a bald head. I'm a little aggressive. I'm the nicest guy in the world. Anybody that know me know I'm kind, peaceful, intelligent, love to crack a joke. But people still cross the street when they see me coming. When I talk to people after they meet me, like, damn, I first met you, I thought you was crazy. I thought you was prejudiced. I thought you was one of the Muslim terrorists. Yeah, real talk. Look, I got an army fatigue jacket, an army fatigue hat. I can understand all that, but the biggest criminals wear suits and ties. The biggest criminals is on Wall Street, is in Congress, is in the Senate, is in the courthouse. They wear shirts and ties, brother.
In the motherfucking White House.
Yeah, the White House. So y'all got it all backwards. Y'all worried about the peon, the pawn in the game. The real chess master is the one that you smile at every day. that you see on television. You might vote for him. You know, you might watch his movie. You might buy his or her product. They the chess masters. They the devils. I'm just the guy trying to survive, give you the truth in the world. Like Nike. My man got the Nike hoodie on. Say, just do it. Nike, the symbol of victory. Victory. That's real. If you don't, it ain't about believe. Oh, I don't believe that. That's a lie. No, it's the truth. Look it up. I'm not saying believe it because I say it. Research it. I researched it. You research it. And the fact that instant technology and Google are still ignorant to certain things boggles my mind. My man, I'm not gonna mention his name, you know, because it may be embarrassing to him. But one of my buddies, he just won the coast to coast thing. And he was giving me props for helping him out, not necessarily for winning the coast to coast, but for providing him with a basic fundamental hip hop template. He did not know what the word MC meant. And I find it appalling. I find it amazing. And I find it disgusting that somebody who calls themselves a rapper, somebody who calls themselves a hip hopper, but you don't know what the word MC means. So would be
you gotta tell them what the MC
well
means.
I was going on to that. I was going on to that, you know,
because I would admit I don't know what the fuck it means.
Master of ceremony, because I just keep it yeah, well, at least you honest. But I'm saying motherfuckers listen to people rap all the time and they say I'm the MC, and the MC. How you don't know what it like? Wouldn't it just cross your mind if you didn't know? Like, what does MC mean? Like, I find that amazing. Like, when I don't know something, I ask right off the bat, like, yo, what's that? What's this? So I just find it amazing that somebody could rap and not know what the word MC means. It means master of ceremony because a MC didn't start off rapping. A MC was the boy who told jokes. He introduced the acts. He talked about the politics. He talked about what was going on in the community. And now my man Black is going to come up and entertain. So today, Preacher Paulie said, la, 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 Miss Johnson, we know you got the best apple pies in North Philly. See Miss Johnson for a slice of apple pie. And coming up to the stage live, such and such the comedian. Give him a hand. That was the MC. It was only later on that the MC turned into the rapper because the MC was to hype up the DJ. The DJ was the most important person in the show because the DJ was the one that played the music. And the MC was introducing the DJ, and then the MC started rapping in between the DJ's beats, and that's how we got hip hop that we got today. But they don't even know, yo, we tape it, man. You ain't
going back to the NBA. You was talking about Steph Curry. Do you think Russell Westbrook is the Steph Curry of the NFL?
I think Russell Westbrook need to man up. Some of his heterosexually challenged fashion statements is a little suspect. I mean, my God. I mean, that's what I think. Number two, I think Russell Westbrook needs some help. But if Russell Westbrook was less of an asshole and a dickhead, maybe Kevin Durant would have stayed. I mean, one man can't win a championship. They didn't turn him into. They didn't turn Russell Westbrook.
No, I said Russell Westbrook. I mean Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is the
yes, 100%, 1,000% true. And that's just once again based on our own self-hate. Russell Wilson is clean cut. Russell Wilson is now down with Sierra. Russell Wilson actually is the first African-American athlete I know to do Willie Lynch in reverse. Usually, they leave the sister for the white woman. Russell Wilson left the white woman for Sierra. History has been made. Funny thing, though, when Atlanta beat Seattle in the playoffs, they had all the funny memes. Now, you know, I'm a meme dude, bro. I love the memes. I love when they put the little scenes behind the players and everything. So they had one, and they had Future sprinkling an L on Russell Westbrook because, you know, Future was supposed to be, and with Sierra while Russell was messing with her. Like, they had a picture of Russell Westbrook with his shoulders up in the air like this, and the caption said, he said,
it was like, Dear Sierra, the guys keep leaving Gucci flip-flops in my shower stall. I don't know what it means. Get it? In my Gucci flip-flops. You know, Future always talking about Gucci flip-flops. So, you know, the dudes was leaving Gucci flip-flops in the shower to let him know that, you know, he smashing your chick. Yeah, like that. But him being so weird and being so non-hip-hop, they was making it seem like he don't even know who Future is. Now, for all we know, he could be listening to every Future song, but it's just like the stereotype, the way he looked, the way he carry himself.
What's that motherfucking name? And he was saying that he was trying to
Percy Harvin.
He said he made some type of racial derogatory comments about Russell Westbrook being like not really black enough type of shit.
Who said that?
From what I heard on it was
You mean Russell Wilson?
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Well, you know, this is my thing. What is black enough? So are we associating black with speaking broken English and having criminal records and jail charges and baby mamas? Because to me, that's what it seemed like when they say you're not black enough. What does it mean you're not black enough? You don't openly listen to hip hop. You don't openly state how you might have cousins in jail or baby mamas or abusive dad. What do we mean by not black enough? You come from a 2-parent family and speak correct English, so you're not black enough? Like, I don't understand what that means. Like, on one level, I know exactly, but on another level, I'm clueless because I'm the type of dude who don't fit no description. When I was in Catholic school, when I was doing what I was doing with hip hop, I wasn't white enough. I was too black. Then when I get white friends and speak correct English and go to college, now I'm a sellout. So I don't know what you mean. Because when I came home from college in 93 and was rocking the same army fatigues that I got on now, people was laughing at me and calling me a broke-ass Method Man. Look at black-ass G.I. Joe. You think you're in the army. So was I black enough then? I don't know. Because everybody's wearing army fatigues now, ain't they? Little gay-ass army fatigue sweatpants with the little curl up at the bottom. So I don't know what it means when you say black enough. Like, can we get some clarification on that?
I'm gonna read a comment.
I mean, you know, people will tell you Tyler Perry ain't black enough, but I guarantee you Tyler Perry hire more black filmmakers, black directors, black actors than somebody who's supposed to be black enough. I'm just saying, what's black enough? I don't know what that means. So because I speak correct English, because I say I can speak words like perpetuate and disseminate, does that mean I'm not black enough? I mean, I'm in the middle of Broadneary. Need to be, you know, so I don't know, brother.
I guess it goes back to that colorism thing you saying. I guess he got the hair, you know what I'm saying? So you don't really fit certain standards of what it is to be quote unquote.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm not going, you know, I got a homie right now who's the well, let's just say he's wanted by the law enforcement for doing some heinous crimes. He's the lightest, prettiest dude on the face of the earth. I know plenty of light-skinned, green-eyed killers. And you want to know why they light-skinned, green-eyed killers? Because people used to think the same thing about them that they think about Steph Curry. Because you light-skinned and got green eyes and curly hair, that somehow that make you some less of a man. Black. I mean, I know a lot of dark-skinned suckers. I know a lot of dudes with bald heads and beards that's gippers and rats. So are they black enough? Am I black enough? I mean, I have a really big vocabulary. I like hockey. Hello, my name is Eric Banks. How may I help you? That's how I answer the phone every day at work. Good morning, my name is Eric Banks. How may I help you? At Black and Nobel, I could be, yeah, I mean, I'm saying, nigga, this, nigga, that. As soon as that phone rang, hello, Black and Nobel. How may I help you? So am I black enough? Am I white? I'm just saying, bro, we talk dumb shit. Like, the shit we talk is so crazy that we even give credence to shit like that. Like, it's like, yeah, it just make you more separated. It's like, what was that movie, Lawrence Fishburne, Deep Cover? And remember when the white guy was trying to pick out what black dude he wanted to go undercover? And he asked the first guy, what's the difference between a black man and a nigga? That was the coon boy. Then the big black guy just grabbed him by the neck. And then Larry Fishburne came and he asked him the question. He looked at him and he said, the nigga is the one who would even think about answering that question. And he got up to leave and he was like, that's the guy I want. That's me. I'm that guy. Like, I see both sides of it, but I'm gonna stay right in the middle and tell you what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I know exactly what they mean when they say, I know what they mean. Because I get it as soon as I open my mouth. But because I look the way I look, nobody comes at me with that dumb shit. Because it's obvious I'm very well situated in the ghettos. It's obvious I'm very well situated in the projects. What they don't know is I'm just as well situated in the suburbs. I'm just as well situated at the golf clubs. I'm just as well situated at the cigar bars. And I'm just as well situated in the banks and the stock markets. See, that's what they don't know. And so it is what it is. And on the street side, for anybody who may be thinking less than me because I can use these words, you're just a worker and your boss is my man. Remember that. Just remember that. You're a worker and your boss is my man. I'm more important to him than you are. He can get another worker. He can't get another old head. So don't go against the grain because you will end up with something in your brain.
So, like with the black quarterback, we could, kind of talk about that since we were talking about Russell Wilson. Do you think that it's a
If Russell Wilson was white, they'd already have a statue of him outside of Seattle Stadium. How about that?
No, I'm talking about just black quarterbacks in general. Do you think it's a double standard?
It's a triple standard. Okay. It's a quadruple standard. Name one time that you've heard a white man called athletic. Heard this. Ben Roethlisberger shows great athleticism. No, but they'll tell you Ben Roethlisberger is a student of the game. They'll tell you Ben Roethlisberger thinks the game. They'll tell you Ben Roethlisberger is a field general, but they'll never say that he's a great athlete. I see Ben Roethlisberger standing up there. Ben Roethlisberger is 6'5", 250. How many times do I see Big Ben knock motherfuckers over and scramble around to make a play? But when he does it, they never call him a running quarterback. They never call him a scrambling quarterback. They be like, oh, that's a great play by Ben Roethlisberger. That was a heady, intelligent play. Think about it. Never. They never call a white guy athletic.
He was pretty fast.
I'm saying, did you hear the announcers calling him?
Yeah, he was an athletic.
No. When do you ever hear them say that? They never call a white quarterback athletic. But they never call them that. That's what I'm saying. Who was more of a running quarterback than Steve Young? But they never called him a running quarterback. Never. Ever. Fran Tarkenton invented scrambling. Look up Fran Tarkenton. Google his name. Short little white boy. They used to call him the Mad Dodger. He scrambled all around before he threw the pass. They never called him a running quarterback. I've seen white quarterbacks run with their legs. They extend the play and make a touchdown, and they'll say, oh, that was a great thinking play. He really thinks the game. When the black guy do it, they say he wins with his legs. It's an insult, bro. It's a double standard. They will never give a black man credit for using his brain. Never. It's just not in the component of white supremacist-based society, bro. It's just not something that they can do. Now, the thing I don't like is when I say something right, I look at my own people. Like, they'll go through all kind of manipulations and maneuverings to think and go and try to think of the one person to defeat what I'm saying. The point I'm trying to make is the fact that you got to think about it at all. I'm saying is true. You don't have to go through 55 examples of when did they ever call a black man a student of the game, because you'll never hear it. Name one time you heard him say, oh, Chris Paul is a great point guard because he thinks the game. That was a smart, heady play by Chris Paul. It may be, but they don't call it that.
I think that's what Chris Paul was kind of talking about, though.
That's exactly what he's talking about. That's exactly what he's talking about. And our dumbass people is the ones that don't see it and be the main ones sitting up here arguing with you, trying to find the one time that they called Aaron Rodgers athletic, the one time that they called Ben Roethlisberger athletic, and say that that violates the 1,000 shits that I'm talking about. That's my problem with our people, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, Donovan McNabb, when he touched upon it, he was pretty much ostracized for it.
Yeah.
Remember that? When he was James Brown?
Here goes something else. I've been doing home investigations for 20 years. Every home I used to go into, I see a poster of Allen Iverson. I saw no pictures of Donovan McNabb. You want to know why? Because he ain't black enough. He's a college graduate, communication major. from the ghettos of Chicago. And his family worked hard and moved out of the ghetto to a suburb, Dothan, Illinois. You know the first thing that happened when they got there? They kicked in their door, just like they did Bill Russell, nigga go home. But McNabb ain't black enough. I see McNabb down Palmer's in transit just as many times as I saw AI. He was getting high. He was fucking bitches. He was drinking, but nobody knew about it. Black enough. He didn't have a rap song. He didn't have a posse. He ain't black enough. He speak correct English. But now he out the league. He getting busted every other week for DUI. He was drunk then, but motherfuckers let it go because he wasn't black enough. AI was too black, so they put everything he did in the paper. It was times me, AI, and McNabb was in the same corner at Palmer smoking L's.
Yeah, I found that kind of interesting.
Oh, sorry if I just put Donovan McNabb on blast for the world.
On blast like a motherfucker.
Yeah, well.
Like
You're going to go, okay, Gary Payton, Charles Woodson, Vin Baker. I could name a list of celebrities and NBA stars that came to Palmer and indulged.
Like, I see this in Philly. Like, they love AI.
But they hate McNabb because AI is a nigga and McNabb ain't. AI is my homie. Anybody that know me know I spent way more time with AI than I did with McNabb. That's my homie. At his birthday party this summer. And anytime he comes to Philly and we catch up, hook up with each other, it's a good time. That's my homie. But I'm calling it like I see it.
Yeah, because when you look at, like, you know, as far as the success, he took him to the well, AI is kind of even when you think about it. You know,
I mean, AI is Philly. It ain't just, he ain't black enough. He represents Philly, period. The little big man thing, the heart, the aggressiveness, the fact that he love our city, the fact that he's very emotional and passionate. And I can see why people don't mess with McNabb. He two-faced it. He a little passive and aggressive,
Little, very.
He act like he wouldn't get drunk, but he do. He act like he don't hoe around, but he do. He throw people under the bus.
What you think about him in that T.O. situation?
That was black on black crime at its highest. Parts. Both of them was wrong. T.O. expected McNabb to have more power than what he had. And McNabb expected T.O. to be less of a diva, more of a team player. That was black on black crime.
More aggressive instead of the passive aggressive.
We'd have a Super Bowl. We'd have a Super Bowl right now. But I don't want to trash Donovan McNabb because he's untrashable. He was all right as a person. Like I said, college graduate, take care of his kids. Pretty much no scandals, no issues. Speaks well, carries himself well. He ain't never been an embarrassment to his family or his city. Now, I got some problems with him as an athlete because I feel like he picked the biggest games to come up small, but he ain't the only one in that category. Oh, look at that. Earthquake. Look at that quick reaction. Not a sort of, but Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb package deal. You gotta blame them both. They both is lockstep together.
And the Reid knows that. That's why he did what he did.
Yeah.
He had to get rid of him before he leaves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Big Red, rest in peace. I mean, he's still alive, but his Philly career is over. That's another guy, You so busy focused on the team, you ain't know what was going on with your sons. I mean, what's more important? What's more important, being a football coach or being a father? I mean, listen, once again, they put Allen Iverson business out in the street when he was going through it with his kids. What makes Andy Reid any different? Now, let me tell you what would have happened to Ray Rhodes. Let me tell you what would have happened to Maurice Cheeks. Let me tell you what would have happened to any African-American coach if their two sons was running around the suburbs selling drugs to white kids, like Andy Reid's kids was running around North Philly carrying guns, selling drugs to black kids. This is what they admitted when they got caught. My mouth. This is coming from Andy Reid's kid's mouth. Go back and look at it. They was running around North Philly wild, selling dope and drugs, busting guns. So strung out, he bought pills in his ass to the jail. I'm not making this up. This is real talk. Now, what would have happened if it was an African American coach caught like that? Do you think they would have got a free pass like Andy Reid did? They would have been every kind of absentee dad, every kind of image that they have about the black father. Free pass.
Yeah, we're gonna close.
His son OD'd at training camp.
That's wild. We gotta close this out.
His son OD'd at training camp.
I'm gonna close this out with this question.
Let Doc Rivers' son OD at the Clippers practice facility. Let Doc Rivers' son OD at the practice facility. See if he would ever coach again.
Anymore says, what does this guy do in order for his mind to move at such a high level?
CMOS.
Okay, here you go, sis.
And I read thousands of books. I've been reading since I was 2 years old, and a lot of the information stuck with me. So when experiences in my life, here you go, brother. Lenny Moore, I'll tell you this. I don't know how much of a football fan you are, but I'm a football fanatic. I'm an Eagles fanatic. I go to a lot of the games, and the games I don't go to, I tailgate. The year, matter of fact, we talking about Andy Reid. Chip Kelly's first year, 2013. If you remember correctly, the first game we went down D.C., nobody thought we was going to win. We won like 33-27. The next game they played San Diego, they lost in overtime. The third game was a Thursday night football game when Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs came to Lincoln Financial Field. The game, Michael Vick threw an interception to the bull Houston that played linebacker for the Chiefs. He intercepted the pass and ran it back for a touchdown. I vividly remember John Gruden and Mike Tirico going back and forth, and this was the exact words. Well, I'm paraphrasing, but pretty much went like this. Oh my God, Michael Vick is an NFL quarterback, and he's been in the league too long to make a throw like that. He still can't read defenses. Michael Vick has to do better. Don't deny that. It was a horrible throw. He should have read the defense, and he should have did better. No doubt about it. Fine. I have no problem with that. The next week, and anybody that knows football knows that all the NFC East teams, if one team play a team from the West, So the next week, the Giants played Kansas City. It was on Monday Night Football. And the same people that do Thursday Night Football do Monday Night Football. So John Gruden and Mike Tirico called it again. And sure enough, Eli Manning threw the same slant pass that Michael Vick threw, and the same linebacker, I'm not sure if it was 50 or 56, but one of the Kansas City Chiefs' good linebackers intercepted that pass and ran it back for the touchdown. This is what John Gruden said. That was a great play by the linebacker. Eli's receiver has to fight harder for his quarterback. Come on, man. 2 interceptions thrown by 2 quarterbacks to the exact same linebacker on the exact same play. One is Michael Vick's fault, and he has to learn how to read a defense better, taking a shot at the African Americans' thought process and all the stereotypes about how we can't read defenses and we ain't smart. Eli Manning makes the same fucked up read and the same fucked up throw, but the announcer says it was a great play by the linebacker, and the wide receiver has to work better to help out his quarterback. And that goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year in all sports, in all entertainment venues, and in all education venues. It's a double and triple standard. Black guys sell dope and kill people, drug dealer. White guys sell dope and kill people, crime family, criminal organization, cartel. Come on, man. Can't you see the difference?
Yeah, so we definitely.
And that's with everything, bro. That's with everything. They tell you the NAACP is a racist organization. But they don't tell you that the reason they have the NAACP or the reason that we have all black colleges is y'all motherfuckers wouldn't let us go to school with y'all. You feel me, bro? This is the stuff that I like to talk about. And sports is the main one because it's American as apple pie. Do you think that the Sundays when they used to hang our ancestors and sell food and take pictures around the crucifixion or the burning, do you see the similarity between that and the Sunday tailgating and the Sunday picnic. You know why they call it a picnic? From pick a nigga. And they used to have lunches and barbecues while they burnt our people alive down south. This is real talk, bro. Check out Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit. Check it out. And I'm going to leave you with this. This is the criminalized nature of the United States and the criminalized nature of the Southern Caucasian. Do you know when bootlegging, I don't know if y'all know about prohibition. Prohibition was in 1920 when they passed the law that alcohol is illegal. That's how we got Al Capone and the crime families, because they all started selling alcohol and they got rich and famous and made millions of dollars. Point that I'm trying to make is when they declared alcohol illegal down south, and my grandfather, my grandmother, they all come from South Carolina. They used to make moonshine. You can still get moonshine. They call it corn liquor on Darien Street. Certain spots in North Philly, old down south dude. It come in a clear water bottle, a jug for $30, and then they got a clear 16-ounce Pepsi bottle for like 15. And they call it white lightning, moonshine. The moonshiners down south had to have the fastest cars to outrun the police. So what they would do is all the fast moonshiners would gather in some backwood field and have races to determine who was the fastest racer. Out of that is how you get NASCAR. The Indianapolis 500, the stock races, the good old boys, the Daytona 500 and all that. That comes from moonshine runners competing to see who had the fastest car to outrun the police. And now this is a multi-billion-dollar sport in the United States, where 300,000 and 400,000 people will be at the Daytona 500 for 3 and 4 days to watch a bunch of moonshiners ride 200 miles around the track. This is America. And this is why I talk about sports, society, and politics so much, because they all connected.
Make sure you subscribe to Black and Nobel Media and Black and Nobel Books. We will be back next week. You want to get the same information, the same
every
energy.
Friday, man. We're going to talk more about the NBA playoffs, because by next Friday we'll have some more results. Right now, Cleveland is winning 2-0. Golden State 2-0. Houston and San Antonio tied 1-1. Washington is leading Boston 2-1, and I think San Antonio and Houston is 1-1. So that's all the 4 series. And Boston and Washington 2-1. Yeah. So by the time next week, some of them series might be over.
With that being said, this is your boy Solomon with your boy Brother E.J. We will be back next week, same time, same pace. Peace and Black Power.